Greetings. Good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly Lunch and Learn.
In terms of business, if you have a dream, go for it. Pursue it. Work hard at it, because with anything that you want to do, it's going to come hard work. You know, if you don't put the hard work, if you don't put the time into it, it's not going to flourish the way you want to.
Maybe advice for anybody who's looking to start a business, like just do it. Start off small and then kind of expand. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but like once you're in it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this long time ago?
Love you. Tell yourself, I love me too. I love you, Omena. Love you. When you open your heart and your mind, you're opening up to your blessing.
Yeah.
Greetings, and good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly edition of our Lunch and Learn. So today's session it seems like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it's been a theme of like small business sessions, information that is very powerful for our small business owners out there. So today we have guest Valerie J. Lyons, who is here to talk about power networking, taking charge of your success. This session will provide you all with a very natural and organic approach to networking. She'll also dispel common networking myths that can impact our abilities to fully self-express ourselves. Let's welcome Valerie up to the stage. Welcome, Valerie. How you doing today, sis?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the invitation to be here.
Well, thank you for saying yes. We appreciate you. So tell me a little bit about yourself before I depart and pass the stage on to you. Let the community know a little bit about who Valerie is and why you do what you do.
Yes, I will. I always start by saying I'm blessed and I'm grateful.
Hey.
Yes, I'm blessed and I'm grateful. I have my own business, Valerie J. Lyons Enterprises, where I provide coaching. I call myself a career healer because my target audience are women in the 50 plus age range. And I always say, if you've been in the workforce and you're 50 plus, I know somewhere along the line you've been beat up and beat down. So we talk a lot about just recovering and expanding and transitioning, because folks are always looking for or interested in looking for the next thing, right? So I do that. I also facilitate personal and professional development workshops. More recently, been doing a lot of work around anti-racism, which I'm very proud about and happy that I've been able to really provide this great information and empowerment and insight to large groups. And then I do a lot of my workshops, facilitate workshops around creating a career you love, because I've been blessed to create a career I love. I know it's possible. I know others that have experienced the same thing. So I always like to talk about the possibility of creating a career and a life that you love. And then networking is just something that comes very natural to me. And I like to talk about it to sort of destigmatize networking for folks and to really show how it's more about sharing. Lastly, my full-time gig is with Hunter College. I have a full-time job with Hunter College. I'm an assistant director of student affairs. I advise students in the counseling programs.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for such a full description of self. And I'll just say that your energy is just so radiant that I couldn't imagine you not being a networking natural. So on that note, I'm going to pass the stage over to you and let you give to the community what you came to give. Thank you, sis.
Thank you. Yes, so we could start. Yes. So again, this presentation is titled Power Networking, Taking Charge of Your Success. So I'm really happy to go over some information, and I hope that you'll find helpful. Next slide, please. Networking starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with your knowing and feeling a sense of confidence, your own self-worth, your ability. So it's a lot about your mindset, and creating yourself as someone who has value and has something to offer, right? it's important that we leave the past in the past, because some of us have had maybe some bad experiences in networking, and we let that play out in our present and our future. So we want to leave our past in the past and start from scratch and look at each day as an opportunity to fully connect and express who you are with whomever you're with, right? Networking really involves creating a team, because I believe that and I'm sure many of you know that having people around us that empower us, that uplift us, that believe in us, make a huge difference. And frankly, creating a powerful team means you have a powerful network. And you can rely on this network to support you in everything that you do. So you're going to do your own thing, but in creating networks of support and empowerment, we also have this opportunity to lean on folks to request support. And for some of us, requesting support is not easy. So that's another thing we need to get over, because we can't, live in this life on our own. It's important that we create teams of support. Also practicing. Some people talk about your elevated pitch. I say, pitching your passion, but being able to practice. What are you passionate about? What really lights you up? What is your gift and your talent? Really articulating that and practicing saying that over and over again, so that when you're with folks, it comes out very naturally and comes out very easily. So really thinking about what makes you unique. What is your why? Again, what is the thing that wakes you up in the morning, that has you inspired? What is that? And also thinking about what problems you're solving. Like how does your offer, how does your work make a difference in the world? What problems are you solving? Earlier, I talked about doing the work around anti-racism. It's really about informing and educating all folks around institutionalized racism and how it shows up in all of us, right? And making a difference, so that I believe in love. I believe in the power of love. So that's the difference in the world that I think I'm making. And leading with your give. So when you talk to people and you're engaging in a conversation, because networking is about a conversation, it's nothing more than that. You're really leading with what can you offer folks, right? So you're trying to not trying to, but you're offering value right off the top. So it's like I might be making a request of you, but I'm also going to offer you. And I'm going to offer you, for instance, my network. I'm going to present an offer that I think might be of value to you. I'm listening for the opportunity to be of service to you, the person that I'm talking to. So it's mutual, right? And then, of course, when it comes to networking in this day of social media, we want to maintain a clean and active digital identity. So when it comes to networking, people are looking for you. They're looking for you. They're looking for you. They're doing their research on social media. So you want to make sure that whatever shows up on social media is something that you're proud of. So you want to really be clear on what you're putting out there on social media. Okay, next slide, please. When I talk about networking, I also talk about living in your power. So I made an acrostic over out of the word power. And the P stands for proactive and prototype. So in living in my power inside of networking, I'm always networking. I'm always talking about what I do. I'm not going to wait until a particular time to network. I'm not going to wait to go to a networking event, for instance, to network. I'm constantly engaging in conversation with people. I'm being proactive, letting people know what I'm up to. And also, when it comes to prototype, and this has more to do with your offer, it's trying different things. It's offering different services, seeing what sticks, seeing what doesn't. But being proactive is really where it's at in terms of always being willing to talk and to engage and to self-express. Living inside your power also means that you're listening for opportunities. Listening for opportunities to partner with other people, to collaborate, looking for opportunities where you might provide your services, being visible, such as being here on Lunch and Learn. It's an opportunity for me to present and talk about what it is that I do in the world. So for those of you who are shy, who are not necessarily eager to put yourself out there, I just ask that you, work through that. I'll say get over yourself, right? Because we don't want our shyness to limit us. I always say I'm a recovering shy person, right? I'm a recovering shy person, and I didn't want that label of shy to hold me back. So really looking for opportunities, listening for opportunities. And then W stands for doing the work. The W in power here stands for doing the work. It's, again, taking risks, stepping outside your comfort zone a bit, doing your research, making sure if you're, for instance, a coach or a speaker, that you have your speaker sheet, making sure that you have all of the tools that you need, making sure that you're, on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, just doing the work so that you can fully be present in the world, right? And then embracing who you are, being, accepting yourself for who you are and who you're not. Embracing yourself, we all have areas of strength, we all have areas of weakness, but I'll one thing I'm not going to do is beat myself up about the weaknesses that I may have or the limitations that I have. I'm going to do what I can to enhance, or strengthen those limitations. And this is also where building a network comes into place, and building a team of support, because you may not be strong in one area, but someone in your team is strong, and that's how you get, build your power. And then R is that in being proactive and not waiting, listening for opportunities, doing the work that's involved in being successful, embracing who you are and who you're not, you're going to see results. Because being consistent in these many ways has us to see end results, right? But it's about being consistent. Okay, next slide, please. So let's bust some networking myths. And you see that G jumped to the next line. A lot of people have some issues around networking, right? And what I've done is I found myself really listening for what some of those fears are, or what some of those concerns are around networking. So one of the myths that I'd like to bust is that networking is salesy, right? Some people feel like it's you're putting on, you're selling something, you're pushing yourself. No, it doesn't have to be that. So this calls for some reframing. As far as I'm concerned, networking isn't salesy, it's sharing. It's just sharing. Talking about what you're up to in the world, really getting curious as to what other people are up to, what are they interested in, what inspires them, and really just talking about what it is that you do. Simply, I was at a meeting at Hunter the other day. Yesterday was the other day, by the way. I was in a meeting in Hunter yesterday, sitting next to a faculty member, and we had an opportunity to talk and share what it is that we do. So I told the faculty member that I'm doing anti-racism training, and that's something that I've been shopping around to different organizations. Well, wouldn't you know that her daughter-in-law is she's on the equity committee of her organization. And I simply said, would you mind if I send you some of my some information about the work that I do to pass it on to your daughter-in-law? She said, fine. Now listen, she may or she may not do that. I will follow up, by the way, with the faculty member to ask if she did share that information. But it was as simple as that. Just sharing what you do can translate into opportunities, right? The other myth I'd like to bust is that networking takes a lot of time. Well, again, from the example that I just shared, that took all of 2 minutes. Networking doesn't really have to take a lot of time because you don't have to go to a networking event per se. It's all about talking to people and engaging wherever you are. When I'm at a party, you better know that I'm talking about what it is that I do. I went to my friend's 60th birthday party, networked, made another contact to do anti-racism training, my friend's niece, by the way. So it's just sharing, just simply talking about what you do, asking people what they're interested in, listening for opportunities to support other people too, because it's not necessarily one way. And then the other myth I'd like to bust is that I can't call that person because it's been too long since we last spoke. Well, once again, this is a myth. Some people feel reluctant to call people that they haven't talked to. Well, this can be an amazing opportunity to talk to somebody who's been thinking about you. You know how that goes. You call somebody you haven't talked to in a while, and they're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. Or I've been thinking about you, right? So if you have it, that you are a valuable contribution, and I say with all humility and grace, and this did not happen easily overnight for me, I will say, I am a valuable contribution. I really believe that. Then I don't hesitate in making an offer or letting people know what I do because I believe in myself. And frankly, I've been blessed to have people in my life who believe in me. And that makes a difference. That makes it easier for me to talk about what it is that I do. And I've also been practicing doing it, which again, I said earlier, makes a difference. So calling people that you haven't talked to in a while can be an opportunity to reestablish contact, find out what the person is doing, support the person who you don't know what they've been going through, and to let them know what you're up to. The other myth, 4, I don't know anybody. Well, that's also a myth because if we start with, I say start where you live, right? When we think about our family, we think about our colleagues, we think about our friends, we think about, just if you go to church or any kind of religious institution or organization, the folks there, the congregation. Listen, you got a dry cleaner. You got folks that you go to their store, you pay your money to buy some products. The owner of the store is part of your network. You know what I mean? So it's like reframing who is in our network, right? So we know more people than we think. And frankly, sometimes we think that some people can't help us. So we think that we can only approach certain, I'm going to put the quotes in the ear, certain people, like we can only approach certain people. You never know who can be a blessing to you. You never know who can open up a door to you. I talk to everybody. I do not discriminate, right? So just open up your mind, open up your heart, and see who really shows up for you. If you're in school, if you're going to school, your classmates, your instructors, again, think about who you pay your money to. I think that's an interesting thing to take on. Whoever you pay your money to is a potential person in your network, right? So if you're, again, going to school, your professors, your classmates, your peers, they're all part of your network. And then myth number 5 is, I don't want to be a bother. You hear this. I mean, I said earlier, I coach women in the 50 plus age range. I love what I do. I hear this a lot amongst women. I don't know, if men, I don't know how you feel about this. Other folks, I don't want to be just binary men and women. So I know we have our LGBTQ folk, whoever. Some people just seem to feel like they're going to be a bother. No, once again, if I believe that I bring value and I believe I'm a contribution, how can I be a bother? And if I'm really interested in people, and I am interested in people, if I'm really genuinely interested in who I'm talking to, and I feel like I have something to offer, right? And frankly, you don't know until you get into a conversation how you might be a blessing to somebody, be able to support somebody. I don't come with I'm a bother. I come with I'm a blessing. How about that? Right? So these are just some of the myths that that I'm aware of. There may be more, but I think that these may hit home for some of you. And I hope that if they do, you can take a look at reframing these myths, because they're myths. Guess what? As I said earlier, a lot of it is a mindset. It's all about your mindset. How do you approach the thing, right? That's what I'm offering here. Okay. And the last slide is really, which is the next slide. And I'm, wrapping up, and I'm hoping I see there's quite a few comments. I can't wait to hear what the comments are. This is the book. So I wrote a book, Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet. And by the way, I got the memo late about well-being inside of work, right? Entrepreneurs are working real hard, right? We want to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, so that we can do the work that we're called to do. One of the quotes that I used, I didn't have it in my presentation, is let your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health lead you, right? So I'm big on really focusing on my self-care, my mental health, my physical health, and my spiritual health, so that I can be a powerful contribution. Okay, I hope you got something of value from the presentation, and I look forward to responding to any questions or comments at the end. I think we're going to manage that. And again, thank you for this opportunity to present to you this afternoon.
All right. That was so much information. I have notes here for myself. I
Good.
definitely can say that I definitely have been guilty of all of the networking, of being a guest subscriber or believer of all of those networking myths. Some of them have definitely shifted with just doing my own healing work, and as you get rid of that inner dialogue. But some of them definitely were still there, especially with the haven't spoken to someone in a while.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't really want to reach out and hesitant. And I love the way you frame that, with the looking at it from like a positive scope, instead of looking at it from beating yourself up and looking at what you haven't done. Kind of give it, and I also look at it as an opportunity to clean that up. Sometimes we need a segue, and maybe asking for that support is that segue, but also giving yourself a moment to be vulnerable and actually say, well, look, hey, I know I've been MIA, and here I am, and it's so good to see you, and I missed you, and this is what's going on right now. And it can be as organic as that. And sometimes when we get stuck in that dialogue, it becomes so much harder. And like, what do I say? What do I do? Just admit when you're wrong, hold yourself accountable, and keep it moving. So I love that. I really love that.
And I wanted to say, Jamie, we make up a whole lot of stuff in our heads about people, what people are going to think. So my attitude is like this. If I'm going to make something up, because I'm making it up. If I'm going to make it up, let me make it up positive. Let me make something up empowering that's going to support me. If I'm going to make it up, I might as well do that.
Yeah, because they try to tell us that fairy tales don't come true, but that's actually really just manifestation, and they really can come true.
Exactly.
Maybe may not look like the ones that we were raised up on, but it can look like, just like what you said, making our lives what it is that we want it to be. I love that. I love that. So Keisha also admitted that she couldn't avoid from being struck by the myths, like she was hit by them. So I guess they resonate with her as well.
Yes, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so a lot of in the comments section is recapping. We do have some folks out there. Folks, if you have any questions for Valerie, do feel free to drop them in the comment box. Have some good mornings from our Juneteenth family out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I also I definitely captured the POWER acronym. So maybe we could even dive a little bit more into that together. So with being proactive and looking for your prototype, what do you find are the biggest challenges?
I think that sometimes people wait, say for an entrepreneur, right? You might have some contracts and things are going really, really well. So you're in your groove. You're making some money. You got these contracts. So you may not be putting as much emphasis on networking because things are going well, particularly if you have a resistance to network, right? So being proactive just means thinking ahead. Matter of fact, I just believe in networking all the time. And I guess when I reframe networking as sharing and just talking to people and engaging with people, it takes away the stigma of going to a networking event. So that's what I mean with proactive. And with prototype, which really means trying different things. And I guess in terms of networking, just trying different ways to network. If you've been networking one way, if you've been waiting to go to, say, either virtual events, we're coming back in person, if you've been waiting to do that and not trying to just DM people, if you're on Instagram and you're getting likes, people are liking your stuff. If you're not, responding to them, DMing people on social media is a way of engagement. Or if you're on LinkedIn, going on LinkedIn and responding to people's posts, adding your comments, sharing what people are sharing on LinkedIn. If you see interesting posts, trying different ways to engage, it would be what I would consider with prototyping.
Got you. So that how that resonates for me is there's an app called Nextdoor that also targets like your neighborhood. So you would get like a radius of a certain amount of miles, depending on what type of plan you have. If it's a free plan, it's like your neighborhood and maybe 2 or 3 neighborhoods around you. If you decide to pay, you can choose how much you pay, and you can choose how many miles you actually go around you. And it actually allows for networking as well on there. Let you know what's going on in neighborhoods, what crimes have happened, what measures are being promoted, what laws are being changed, what type of businesses are going up, all kind of different things on there. So I get what you're saying. So it's basically stepping out of your comfort zone, stepping out of your box, and what your idea of networking is. Beautiful of that. And then we had the opportunities. So that would be keeping your eyes open for any and every space that you can have that. I remember living back in New York, and I would think that on a train a lot of times when you're in the train, and a lot of people don't like to talk to people on a train. And I have met and made some of the greatest connections on MTA, while there are a lot of, of the mental health situations. There are also a lot of people that are just like you and I, that are just going from one place to another, that have a lot to offer. So sometimes just stopping and enjoying that ride and enjoying each other's energy versus being on edge or being aggravated and thinking of just tapping into all the different emotions I felt over the 40 plus years that I lived in New York City.
New York, transit in New York is getting a little funky right about now. But I definitely have networked on the train. I've networked on Metro North. I had a lovely conversation with a woman. So yeah, and you know what? Sometimes, how about this? Networking with no attachments, right? So if you once you get in the habit of just sharing and talking, I'm not networking necessarily to that in a way that I expect something. Now, mind you, I'm declaring that I'm gonna secure opportunities through my networking. That's just an overall declaration that I'm making. However, when I'm networking and talking to people, you never know what can happen. So whether I get a gig or I don't get a gig, I'm not attached to that, because I know I will get a gig. Because I just know that's how it works in the universe. You put that stuff out, you're consistent, you're following through, you're starting with a genuine heart and a commitment to serve and to provide and to make money. It could be all of that, right? It shows up in the practice, and over time it shows up.
I got that. Well, thank you, Valerie. What I would love for you to do is do like a final recap. Let the community know everything that you need them to know before we got a little spam going on here. Hopefully we can get that out of there. Got a little spam going on YouTube, it looks like, because we are not interested in Best Adult Dating Site, not here. Not here to lunch and learn. At least not our folks that are coming here to learn and lunch. But who knows? Maybe it is for somebody. But maybe they said, "Look, I came here to network." Who knows?
Right,
Maybe
right. It's on network.
maybe somebody's in here that might want to tap on that. But for us, we are tapping into the power of networking.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have you here today, Valerie. I definitely learned a lot. And like I was asking, if you could just recap for the audience, anything it is that the gems that you want.
Yeah. So one thing I want to talk about that I didn't mention in the presentation. First of all, networking is not salesy, it's sharing. I mean, if you can just get that it's just a matter of engaging and talking to people about who you are and what you're up to, I think that would be a great start, right? And then it doesn't take a lot of time. And one of the things I learned in a training I went to, and I have to give the person props, Michelle Warner, who does a networking that pays workshop that was amazing. She talks about on Monday, just give thanks. She talked about intentional networking. On Monday, you're just giving people thanks. Just saying, thank you for blessing me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for making me laugh. Thank you for dinner. Tuesday, you're really making an attempt to reach out to people who you haven't talked to in a while, And then Wednesday, you're taking a stretch. You're going to reach out to somebody who you think is outside of your reach. You're going to take that stretch. And then Thursday, you're going to go on social media and just comment on somebody's social media page. And it doesn't have to be anything like, hey, how you doing? Whatever. Friday, you're making your offers. And it wasn't in that direct, but you see what I'm saying? Like each day, you're just taking a different action. So Friday, when you're making your offer, that's when you're just being intentional with reaching out to people who you think that might be interested in your offer. But she said, if you just give thanks, and I believe this, if you just give thanks, stuff is going to show up. If you just thank people for being the amazing people that they are to you, the amazing blessing that they are, who they are to you, that you're thinking of them. I appreciate you. I love you. Giving thanks and acknowledgement goes a long way. And even doing that in and of itself, you'll see results.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking to myself, a lot of posts where people have acknowledged their communities and where it's a share, where it's like, it's not that you're teaching me something. It's not that you're asking me for something. You're actually just there to share how present you are to the blessings that you have in this life. And that's a beautiful thing. And to me, that's what the giving thanks is a bigger part of. Like it's that small part of that bigger picture of being grateful and thankful for the blessings, just the blessings.
Yeah.
The blessings.
I don't know whether we had my contact information or.
And okay, Keisha. Yes, there it is, right at the bottom. So
Very
that
good.
is else Valerie would like you to know for today. That is how to reach her on Facebook, website, and I believe that I see Instagram at the beginning. Yes, I sure did.
And if people are interested in purchasing my book, Power Networking from the Inside Out, where your career and your well-being meet, they can go to my website to purchase it.
All right. And just to hold ourselves accountable on this side, it's not Ashley that you'll be reaching at those contacts. It is Valerie. It is Valerie J. Lyons who you will reach at those contacts that were at the bottom of the screen. There we go. Thank you for correcting that. Our team is on it. And thank you, Valerie. We appreciate it. It's been an honor.
This was great. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
All right, community. Thank you again for joining us this week for our weekly Lunch and Learn. Next week's guest will be Nicole Henry, and she will discuss about identifying and fulfilling our purposes. So another small business session. So please join us again next week. See you guys. Greetings. Good afternoon, Juneteenth family. Welcome to another weekly Lunch and Learn.
In terms of business, if you have a dream, go for it. Pursue it. Work hard at it, because with anything that you want to do, it's gonna come hard work. You know, if you don't put the hard work, if you don't put the time into it, it's not gonna flourish the way you want to.
Maybe advice for anybody who's looking to start a business, like just do it. Start off small and then kind of expand. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but like once you're in it, you'll be like, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this long time ago?
Love you. Tell yourself, I love me too. I love you, Amina. Love you. When you open your heart and your mind, you're opening up to your blessing.
Yeah.